Now on CoastTV News.
Cold condition challenges, the after effects of the snow, and how those in need can find relief from the freezing temperatures. Civil rights champions celebrated as America honors Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We look at the local events taking place on the holiday.
Well, most of us started the day in the teens. The sun is shining to kick off a new week here on Delmarva. I'm tracking frigid wind chills into Tuesday morning and a threat of some snow this weekend.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to Coast TV News Midday. We are going to begin by taking a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach this morning. That is a deceiving picture right there. Looks like a summer day, Chris. Does not feel like a summer day outside, that's for sure. Good morning, Chris.
No, definitely not, Elisa. That sun is shining. Bright blue skies in Cambridge, and we began the day in the teens. We've warmed up to above the freezing mark. We're at 34 there. We're seeing more of a southwest wind kick in. We're at the freezing mark in Georgetown and Milton, as well as Rehoboth Beach. 33 in Ocean City, 34 in Salisbury. When you kick in the wind, well, it feels like 23 in Georgetown. It feels like 26 in Rehoboth with the wind coming out of the southwest. Now, we are going to remain clear through the day today. Tracking this cold front still across portions of western Ohio and Indiana. That's going to bring a reinforcing shot of Arctic air as we go into the night tonight. We'll top out around 40 degrees under mostly sunny skies. We'll fall to 30 by around 10. Notice the southwest wind through the afternoon. It will turn a bit breezy as we go into the evening with some gusts near 25 miles an hour. And that's going to produce some pretty frigid wind chills stepping out the door tomorrow. I'll have details on how low those wind chills will fall, and we'll talk about a little snow potentially over the weekend. I'll have details on that in the full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. Well, roads on Delmarva are recovering from a late Sunday snowfall. The weather prompted snow plows to hit the roads, dropping salt as conditions continued to worsen, with drivers cautiously making their way to their destinations. Patrick Turner owns a business in Rehoboth Beach and says he was glad to see the snow hold off until later in the day because it allowed his customers more time to shop.
This weekend, at least for us, historically has been a great weekend. And I'm happy to say that even with the rain and or the fear of snow, that it hasn't impacted our customers.
With the freezing conditions, Delaware's Department of Health and Social Services has designated various warming centers across Sussex County. However, those centers do not open until tomorrow, January 20th, and Wednesday the 21st. Those times will be from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It is important to note that these centers are not open today due to Martin Luther King Day. Code Purple at the Cape and the Community Resource Center in Rehoboth Beach are open and operating on a normal schedule. And due to the cold temperatures and increased energy usage, Milford is asking locals to help conserve power. The Power Saver hours will be set for tomorrow between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. The city says you can help lower costs and customers and the community. Customers can help by lowering their thermostat to 2 or to 3 degrees and wear warmer clothing while inside. Delaware State Parks will celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day with a statewide day of service. It's a part of the 75th anniversary celebration. Volunteers will take part in cleanup, trail work, and reforestation projects at parks across Delaware, promoting community service and environmental stewardship. Additional service days are also planned throughout the year. Also happening in Milford, downtown Milford Inc. is hosting a community-wide celebration of MLK Day. It will take place tonight at 6 p.m. at the Milford Senior Center. Organizers say it's a free, family-friendly event that includes music, children's activities, local vendors, plus a keynote address focused on service, equity, and community unity. Delaware State University will host its annual MLK Day celebration at noon on campus in Dover. Salisbury University will also host an MLK Day of service on Tuesday, bringing volunteers together to support local teachers through community service projects. And in celebration of Dr. King ahead of Black History Month, a new exhibit is now open to the public at Washington, D.C.'s Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library. It is called Freedom and Resistance. Dominique Moody shows us a look inside the exhibition and how its inspiration is a part of the connections of the Black American experience.
Vibrant artwork, memorable quotes by intellectuals of yesterday and today, paired with local artifacts, are all pieces of a traveling exhibit now getting a stop in the district.
People in D.C. are always thirsting for more information about Black history not only in this city, but in this country.
It's called The Freedom and Resistance, an exhibition inspired by the 1619 Project, a visual illustration of the work done by the New York Times Magazine and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Nicole Hannah-Jones. 3 sections dive into the ongoing initiatives of the work while showcasing local ties to D.C., Maryland, and Virginia.
A copy of the district's 1862 slave code. It outlines not only the restrictions on enslaved people, but the restrictions on free Black people in D.C. as well. You have to have a freedom certificate. To me, that speaks powerfully to this moment we find ourselves in as we celebrate the 250th anniversary.
Dominique Hazard is the guest curator of the Echoes of 1619 in Washington, detailing the history of enslaved and formerly enslaved African Americans in the district.
In this part of the exhibit, we highlight one specific plantation. It was called Gisborough. It's where Washington Highlands is today. And visitors can see various archaeological artifacts that were exhumed from that plantation.
The remaining sections bring visitors into original artworks by 10 Black artists and DC youth, examining the themes of freedom and resistance.
I see optimism, I see frustration, I see fear, I see a willingness to speak up. I see a lot of courage. We are celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The story told in the 1619 Project is critical to our nation's history.
And this is now going to bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what's the best way to honor Dr. King's legacy. And so far, 38% of voters say community service, 38% learn history, 12% peaceful reflection, and 12% attend events. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttvnews.com or over on our mobile app. Developing news this morning, Delaware State Police are continuing to investigate a shooting that happened early Sunday morning in Ellendale. The agency says troopers were called to the area on your screen. This is Sharon's Road. Police say it happened around 1:02 a.m. after multiple shots hit a home and 2 parked cars. 2 adults and 2 children were inside, but no one was hurt, according to state police. We have a correction to a story we told you about earlier. If you use the Cape May Lewis Ferry, starting today, officials say a traffic detour will go into place for drivers heading to the terminal. This is on the Cape May side. The ferry says drivers will have to use Beach Drive to enter the terminal parking lot. There are detour signs posted, and again, this is on the Cape May side. And we have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, Rehoboth Beach Commissioner's approval, which seasonal rules are expected to change after a decision last week.
It's a cold, dry start to the week here on Delmarva, tracking frigid wind chills tonight in through the day on Tuesday as that sunshine continues. Congratulations to Val Walter, Lewis, Delaware, on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. We'll talk about multiple rounds of Arctic air over the next 7 days with some potential snow into the weekend. I'll have the latest here in minutes.
But first, pony swim prep when the celebrations return to Chincoteague for another year. The Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company is announcing some important dates regarding the annual Pony Week. The 101st Pony Penning Week is July 25th through the 31st. The Sunrise Beach Walk you see right here is scheduled for July 27th. And of course, the Pony Swim, that's on July 29th this year. Greenwood is announcing its newly elected council members. They are Randy Wiley, Daniel Nelson, and Donald Donovan. There was actually a tie for one of those seats, and Mike Moran conceded to Donald Donovan. According to the town, there were a total of 158 voters in the election. And coming up after the break, we will check in with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. He's right there in our Coast TV First Alert weather zone. He's going to give us an update on these cold temperatures.
Well, if you're a fan of the cold and snow, you're going to certainly love the forecast coming up. If you're not a fan of the cold and snow, then, well, Thursday is looking like your best day of the week. And all I can say is just hang in there over the next few weeks as we settle into a pretty cold, active weather pattern. Taking a live look into Rehoboth, we have blue skies. We're right at the freezing mark. Dew point 21. Winds are out of the southwest, pretty light at 4 miles an hour. We're at 31 in Longneck, 33 in Milford, and we're at 34 in Salisbury. When you factor in the winds, it feels like 25 25 in Long Neck, 23 in Georgetown, and 26 in Seaford. You can see the wind flow more out of the southwest now, and we're expecting to see those winds pick up a bit through the latter part of the day into the evening, gusting near 25-30 miles an hour. We do have a small craft advisory up for both sides of the peninsula. This runs through about 6 o'clock on Tuesday evening. You can see some of the snow that fell across the peninsula on the satellite here. Picked up 1 to 3 inches across Newcastle County. We've seen just under an inch here across much of Sussex County, more of a coating mainly on the grassy surfaces, but you can see that snow in through South Jersey and much of PA, and we are dealing with a few snow showers there across the Great Lakes, but this is an Arctic front that's pushing eastward, and we have high pressure that's going to build in behind it as that cold air settles in. 0 degrees is the current temperature in Chicago. 5 below in Minneapolis. So that is some of the air that's going to be pushing to the east over the next 24 hours. Average high 45. 40 degrees today, 29 for Tuesday, and then there's that little spike there Thursday, 50 degrees before another blast of Arctic air arrives in time for the weekend. Mostly sunny skies today. They'll see those winds out of the southwest. We'll have a high of 40 in Georgetown, 41 Ocean City, 40 in Cambridge. The winds will pick up a bit through the afternoon and into the evening, gusting near 25-30 miles an hour as the front pushes through. More of a northwest wind as we go into the day on Tuesday. We'll fall to 18 in Georgetown, 19 in Lewis, 17 in Milford under mainly clear skies. But the story is going to be those wind chills. It's going to feel like 7 in Long Neck come tomorrow morning, 8 in Seaford, 9 in Salisbury. By the afternoon, only feeling like the teens, so feeling like 14 in Millsboro by 4:30, and then the winds will relax late tomorrow in through the day on Wednesday. So we stay rather cold tomorrow. We're going to struggle to get out of the 20s despite the sunny skies and the clear conditions, and we're going to drop even further into early Wednesday. Now the wind chill won't really be a factor, but we're going to dip into the lower to mid-teens for much of the area with some pretty good radiational cooling, I think, as we go into Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday afternoon, seasonable temperatures. Mostly sunny skies will get up into the mid-40s. And then by Thursday, 50 degrees, mostly sunny skies. So overall, aside from the cold, a pretty cold and dry week, aside from any storm systems. Then as we go into the weekend, we're watching the potential. There's going to be an area of low pressure. There's going to be a big precipitation shield that develops. How far north does this system go is going to be the question as we go through the week here. But there is big potential for of some snow as we go into Sunday, and we stay well below normal through the next 8 to 14 days as temperatures are going to struggle to get out of the 20s behind that system over the weekend. We're at 38 on Friday, partly sunny skies, and then look at those temperatures over the weekend dropping into the 20s with that potential snow. We'll continue to fine-tune the forecast through the week, and we'll have more Coast TV News midday after this.
Rehoboth Beach City Commissioners have approved new seasonal rules that standardize restrictions for dogs, smoking, traffic, and parking. The changes now align with the city's summer season from May 15th through September 15th. During the off-season, leash dogs are allowed on the beach and boardwalk. Certain left-hand turns are allowed, and smoking is limited to designated areas. Overnight beach sleeping is still banned year-round, and new overnight parking restrictions take effect during the summer months. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 8 o'clock, it's a replay of the Maryland Eastern Shores men's basketball game against Coppin State. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. And for your DSN Plus exclusives, at 1:30 this afternoon, McCain faces Tattenall in boys basketball. And at 8 o'clock, it's that Hawks game with Coppin State. Coming up after the break, radon gas testing, what experts recommend to keep your home safe. On your screen now is a mental health ladies' night that took place on Saturday. It was put on by the Muzzle to Tail Horsemanship and Therapeutic Riding Centers for Women for mental health organizations in the area. The group discussed insurance coverage for therapeutic riding, mental health, and community helper partners. Radon gas is something homeowners should stay aware of. It's a naturally occurring underground gas. It's odorless and tasteless. It's also the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. You can test for radon with a charcoal-based kit. You can find them at your local hardware store. Anthony Marioni, a radon specialist for 30 years, says there are also other ways to test for radon.
Do electronic testing so it measures the radon levels every hour. So if a storm front comes through, sometimes those radon levels will spike on certain homes. Not all homes will do that.
And when testing at home, Marioni says to make sure you are away from drafts and to have windows closed for 12 hours prior and during the test.
Well, we're kicking off the week with a lot of sunshine across the area, but still below average. We're at 34 in Laurel. We'll top out around 40 degrees under mostly sunny skies. An Arctic front will bring some frigid wind chills into the area tonight through the day on Tuesday. Get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert Weather phone. I'll have a very cold 10-day forecast to show you after the break. The sun is shining in Lewis, but we're still seeing some pretty cold temperatures out there at this hour. We're at 33 degrees. And when you take a look at the wind chills across the area, we began the day with wind chills, some areas in the teens. Feels like 29 in Lewis, 28 in Harrington, and 27 in Georgetown. We'll have more of a southwest wind through the afternoon. That wind will pick up a bit through the evening. We'll top out right around 40 degrees, and then the winds will pick up through the evening, creating bitter wind chills as that Arctic front pushes through. By tomorrow morning, stepping out the door for school and work, it's going to feel like the single digits for most of the area. We struggle to get to the 30-degree mark by the afternoon. Now, overall, it's a pretty quiet week from a precipitation standpoint. We peak at 50 degrees on Thursday, then another shot of Arctic air comes late Friday through Saturday, and that may set the stage for snow potentially late Saturday through Sunday, and then overall we stay well below average into early next week. The coldest stretch by far so far this winter. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Have a great day.